Baby, I don't think you ever knew what you did to me that first night. Not the words you said, not the way you smiled, not even the softness in your voice. It was something else, something cosmic, something that shook the very foundation of the man I thought I was, because in that moment, God, I felt it. I felt my soul take one look at you and whisper, "There you are. Where have you been?" And I swear I tried to play it cool to pretend like I wasn't already yours, but deep down, I knew. I knew I was going to fall. I knew I was going to fall hard. And I knew there would be no turning back. I watched you move like the world wasn't burning, like the chaos couldn't touch you, like the pain of your past had made you into poetry. You were strength wrapped in softness, fire wrapped in silk. And baby, I didn't just want to know you. I wanted to remember you. I wanted to study every inch of your soul until it felt like home. And it scared the hell out of me, because no one had ever made me feel that safe just by being there. I could have kissed you right then, but not out of lust. No, it was deeper than that. I wanted to kiss the space between your questions. I wanted to kiss the pain you hide so well. I wanted to kiss the silence that lingers when everyone else leaves. That first night, I wasn't just drawn to your body. I was entranced by your essence. I felt your scars before I even touched your skin. And something in me whispered, "She's it. She's the one." And baby, I was terrified, because the kind of love I felt that night didn't come with instructions. It didn't ask for logic. It just arrived, like lightning through a quiet sky, like fate breaking through the noise of my past mistakes. And in that moment, sitting across from you, laughing at something I barely even heard, I realized I wasn't meeting you for the first time. I was meeting the part of myself I'd been missing my whole damn life. And baby, you didn't even know what you were doing to me, did you? You were just being yourself. You weren't performing. You weren't pretending. You weren't trying to impress me or win me over. You were just you. And somehow, that was what undid me. Because I've met 1,000 people wearing masks, 1,000 voices trying to sell me their best version. But you, baby, you were raw. You were real. You sat in front of me like a storm that had already survived itself, and I couldn't stop staring. Not because of your beauty, though God knows that nearly made me forget how to speak, but because of your stillness, your grace, that quiet power in your eyes that said, "I've been through hell and I'm still soft." That night, I caught myself memorizing you, the way your lips moved when you were thinking, the way your fingers brushed your hair back when you got nervous, the way you looked away when things got too intimate, as if you were scared I'd see too much. And the truth is, I did. I saw it all. I saw the parts you try to protect. I saw the ache behind your laughter. I saw the heartbreak sitting quietly behind your strength. And do you know what that did to me? It made me want to stay. I didn't want to impress you. I didn't want to chase you just for the thrill. I didn't want to figure you out and then leave once the mystery faded. No, baby. I wanted to honor you. I wanted to hold you in the quiet hours when the world stopped pretending. I wanted to be the one you leaned into when the weight got too heavy. I wanted to choose you every damn day. No matter how complicated, no matter how hard, no matter how long it took for you to trust that I wasn't going anywhere. That night, something in me made a vow to you that my mouth was too afraid to speak, but my heart whispered it loud enough for the universe to hear. You are mine. And I don't mean that in a possessive way. I don't mean ownership. I mean belonging. I mean you belong in my story, in my breath, in my bones. You belong in my silence and in my noise. You belong in my future, not because I'm entitled to you, but because loving you feels like truth. It feels like returning. It's crazy, isn't it? How one night can change everything. How one glance, one touch, one shared moment under dim lights can rewrite your entire destiny. I went into that night expecting nothing. I told myself to play it safe, to just enjoy the moment, to protect the wounds I hadn't healed yet. But the second you looked at me like you saw something in me worth knowing, all my defenses fell apart. You reached into me without even trying, and you touched the version of me I forgot existed. And I need to tell you something, baby, something I've never said out loud to anyone. That night, I fell in love. Not just with your body, not just with your laugh, not just with the way your eyes sparkled when you spoke your truth. I fell in love with your soul. And that's the kind of love that doesn't go away. That's the kind of love that lingers through silence, that survives time and distance and ego and fear. That's the kind of love that doesn't ask for permission. It just arrives. So even now, even after everything, if someone asked me when it all began, I wouldn't say our first kiss. I wouldn't say our first argument or the day I told you I missed you. I'd say it started the first night, the moment she walked into the room and unknowingly ruined every wall I had built. And maybe I haven't told you this in words. Maybe I've failed 1,000 times in how I showed up. Maybe I let fear turn me into someone who ran when I should have stayed. But tonight, right now, I need you to know. You weren't just the girl I met that night. You were the moment my soul finally breathed. Baby, I know I wasn't supposed to fall like that. I know I was supposed to take it slow. I told myself not to get carried away. I told myself to keep it light, to play it safe, to not let one moment become everything. But you weren't just another moment. You were the thunder after the drought. You were the softness I never thought I deserved. You were the reason my soul finally looked up from all the dust and said, "There you are." And the crazy part is, you didn't even try. You weren't chasing me. You weren't showing off. You weren't doing anything except being real. And do you know how rare that is? To meet someone who isn't performing, who isn't hiding, who isn't giving you just a highlight reel of their life. That's what made me fall. Not the way you looked, though God knows I could stare at you forever. But the way you felt. The way your energy filled the room before your voice ever spoke. The way your presence made everything in me go still and quiet, like I was finally home. And I remember every detail, baby. I remember the way you laughed at something I said, not out of politeness, but because you actually found it funny. I remember how you sipped your drink and leaned forward like you were letting me into your world, one word at a time. I remember how the room felt warmer when you smiled. And I remember thinking, this is the moment I'm going to carry for the rest of my life, whether she stays or not. I didn't say anything then, maybe because I didn't want to scare you, maybe because I didn't want to scare myself. But that night, when I got home, I sat on the edge of my bed and whispered, "It's her. You were the prayer I never had the words to speak. You were the softness I didn't know I still had space for. And baby, I know I messed up. I know somewhere along the road, I let the fear speak louder than the love. I let confusion win. I let distance grow. But I want you to know this with every ounce of my breath. That night changed me. That night still lives inside me. And I've never stopped thinking about it. I think about what I would have said if I had just let my heart speak. I think about what would have happened if I had reached across the table and said, I know this sounds crazy, but I think I'm falling for you already. I think about how your eyes would have softened if you knew what was really running through my chest. Think about how your eyes would have softened if you knew what was really running through my chest. Think about all the ways I love you. But maybe this is the only way I know how to love right now, from a distance, with words I should have said, pouring out long after the moment passed. Maybe I'm still learning how to be the man you saw in me that night. Maybe I'm still trying to become the version of myself that matches what you made me feel. Because baby, the truth is, you woke up a part of me that had been sleeping for years. And I'll never forget it. I'll never forget you. Baby, do you know what happens when someone touches your soul before they even touch your skin? When a single conversation feels more intimate than 1,000 kisses? That's what you did to me. You cracked something open. You didn't break me. You broke me open. You didn't wound me. You awakened me. And for a man like me, someone who's spent his life building walls just to survive, that's terrifying. And yet, it was the most beautiful kind of fear I've ever felt, because it meant I was finally alive again. And that first night, I knew I'd fall for you. Not eventually, not slowly, but like lightning, sudden, bright, undeniable, the kind of fall that doesn't ask for permission, the kind of love that rewrites everything in your bones. I remember looking at you and realizing that no matter what happened next, I would never be the same again. I wasn't just meeting a woman. I was meeting the woman, my mirror, my divine counterpart, my home. I kept quiet. I played it cool. I smiled when I should have. Confessed. I joked when I should have just said, I'm scared of losing you, and I don't even have you yet. And that's my biggest regret, baby. Not that I fell too fast, but that I didn't tell you when I did. I wanted to know everything about you. I wanted to memorize the shape of your dreams, the weight of your fears, the names of the songs that make you cry when no one's watching. I wanted to sit beside you in silence and still feel like we were having the most profound conversation in the universe. I wanted to build something sacred, with no rush, no pressure, no performance, just two souls, undressing layer by layer, healing each other in the softest ways. But I ran, not with my feet, but with my silence, with my pride, with my fear of not being enough for someone like you. I convinced myself that someone so radiant couldn't possibly stay with someone as complicated and scarred as me. So I disappeared before I could be rejected. I hurt you before you had the chance to see the mess I really am. And God, I hate myself for that. Because now I'm here, years or days or eternities later, and I still see you in the small things, in a song I wasn't expecting, in a scent that hits me mid-walk, in the way someone says a phrase you used to whisper. You're everywhere and nowhere. You're gone, and yet you never really left. I guess that's the thing about soul connections. They don't respect time or distance. They just are. So if you ever wonder whether that night meant anything to me, please know that it meant everything. It was the moment I met my future and foolishly tried to walk away from it. It was the night I fell, and I'm still falling. Every day, every breath still you, baby. What I felt that night wasn't some fleeting rush. It wasn't lust. It wasn't loneliness trying to trick me into wanting something temporary. It was recognition. The kind of moment that doesn't just steal your breath. It rewrites your destiny. I looked at you, and everything in me whispered, it's her. It's finally her. The girl I saw in dreams I couldn't explain. The energy that haunted me in silence before I ever knew your name. The feeling I tried to recreate with others, but could never come close to. I didn't fall for your beauty first. Though God knows you took my breath away. It wasn't your eyes or your laugh, or the way your hands moved when you talked. It was something else. Something ancient, like my soul had finally come home. You made me feel safe in a way I didn't even know I was afraid. You made me feel seen, baby. Really seen. Like all the broken, bruised, and buried parts of me weren't something to be ashamed of.